Bro, when this Steam machine drops, y'all gonna see a whole nother side of me, man. I am not playing. Matter of fact, I might go MIA for like a good month. So y'all might have to find me somewhere. For y'all who don't know, which I'd be highly surprised if you didn't, Valve is coming out with this new console slash PC hybrid called a Steam Machine. Set to be released early next year, the Steam Machine is gonna provide PC privileges, but through the comfort of casual console gaming. Imagine a miniature version of a PC that you can just plug into your television, kind of like a console. Now, I've been a console gamer for the entirety of my life, so I don't really know that much about PC gaming outside of what my friends told me. But when I found out that the Steam Machine was coming out, between conversations with them and my own quote-unquote research, I'm extremely excited for this drop. For a variety of reasons. Number one, competition. I think I've said on more than enough occasion that competition breeds quality, or at least a need to do better than the other person. I never really engaged with the whole console wars thing, but for a lot of people it was a thing. And the way it's looking, before the Steam Machine was announced, that console war thing was done. I feel like we all collectively agreed that Xbox was going downhill since they gave all of their exclusives to PlayStation, as well as that whole fiasco with the Game Pass situation. I did not see them being a thing 5 years from now. Meaning that outside of Nintendo, all we would have been stuck with was Sony's PlayStation, giving them full reins to dictate whatever pricing and rules they want for console players. With the Steam Machine coming out the cut, that could change that. Xbox might not really be any competition for Sony anymore, but now Valve coming out with the Steam Machine, they could fill up that role. Meaning that if you get tired with how you're being treated with Sony and PlayStation, you can just go to another console or another section for video games. And unlike Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, Steam has damn near all the exclusives for both consoles. You can get Xbox games and PlayStation games on PC. Granted, with PlayStation, you get them a year later, but with Xbox, it's damn near instantaneous. So there's no real reason for you to have a Steam Machine and an Xbox. You get PC exclusives, Xbox exclusives, and later, PlayStation exclusives, in contrast to just being a PlayStation player. Granted, PlayStation does have Xbox exclusives too, but I feel like we all agree that Steam has a very wide catalog in gaming. And unlike PlayStation, they have all the series put together from Gears of War and Halo and Forza, I'm pretty sure, in comparison to PlayStation, which only has one game per series. In shorter terms, if you're a console player, you won't be stuck with one option for gaming. My second reason, hatred. I'm sick of Microsoft, I'm sick of Sony, I don't even play Nintendo games anymore, and I'm sick of them too. The amount of greed I've seen shared between those three parties within a year alone is sick. Xbox charging $300 a year for Game Pass, Nintendo selling Mario Kart for $80 with that, what was it, $600 for the Nintendo Switch 2? Let me look it up. Alright, I just checked it, it's $500, but that's still too much. Sony charging me $50 to play a remake of a remake that I played on a previous console for free. In terms of quality, I think video games the last couple years have been great. There have been a lot of great games that dropped this year. It's just the price is freaking ridiculous. It's overtly expensive. And from what I've been told, this is the reason why I can't wait for the Steam Machine, Steam isn't as predatory or greedy when it comes to money. You are more likely to find a AAA game that's like 60 or 70% off on Steam like later in the year after it releases in comparison to the other consoles. From what all my Steam friends have told me, their deals are a lot more lucrative. I ended up getting a Steam account myself to check it out, also to prep for the Steam Machine, and some of the deals I've seen, man, 80%, 90%, they're not that bad. A couple of the issues I've had with video game prices recently, a video game being released a year ago and still being priced the exact same a year later, making no sense to me, isn't the same situation on Steam. You can have a game released for like $50 last year. Check the prices now, it's probably half off. To this day, if you try to buy Ghost of Tsushima digitally, you're still gonna have to pay like $60, $70 for it. I just checked on Steam, it's 40% off. They're selling it for $35 now. Matter of fact, looking at the original price that they were selling it for on Steam, it's $60. It's like $10 less than what they're selling it for on PlayStation. And it's not the only situation where it's like that. And that's just for video games. On the other hand, online gaming is free. You don't gotta pay for a subscription, it's all free. Which, for me, is another selling point that my PC friends gave me in comparison to console. To this day, I'm still mad at PlayStation from changing the free subscription to $40. Imagine paying online for both PlayStation and Xbox. That's like $70 a month. Matter of fact, that's like $700 a year. That's like 2 bills, depending on whether or not you keep your lights on. The second I get that Steam machine situated, I can cancel my online membership for my PlayStation. I already canceled my online with Xbox. I'm not paying, no, hell no. My wallet can finally breathe. Paying for online gaming makes no sense to me. So I buy a Wi-Fi router. I buy Wi-Fi, right? I pay like $50 a month for it. And then I gotta pay more money on top of that to use said Wi-Fi to play online gaming? Where's the logic? And I kind of blame Xbox for that, because I'm pretty sure they were the first console or even gaming company, period, to go with the whole paywall behind online gaming thing. Because I think Xbox Live at the time, it was silver and gold. I think silver was like 3 months, gold was a year. I think for gold, it was like $20 a year? Or was it like $12 a month? I can't remember, but they started that. PlayStation was free, and then they ended up doing the same thing with the PS4, but overcharging in comparison to the 360. You don't gotta worry with that with Steam, apparently. Meaning that you won't have to worry about that with the Steam machine. And don't even get me started on Nintendo. I don't own any Nintendo products anymore. Well, any recent Nintendo products. But if I remember correctly with the Switch 2, ain't there like a button on the controller that you can't use unless you have online, which you have to pay for? It's a paid membership to use, leaving the button on said controller useless. Y'all see what I'm talking about with this whole money thing in gaming this year, right? It's weird. From what I've seen, PC gaming has always been relatively user-friendly in terms of money, with the exception of actually building a PC. And that's something I'm looking forward to with getting the Steam machine. The third reason I'm excited, emulation. All of the older games I have them physically. The PS2 games, the 360 games, PS3, whatever. With this Steam machine, it allows you to use Windows because it operates as a PC as well as a console. Meaning that if you have Windows, you have the option for emulation. Meaning I can emulate PS2 games, 360 games, GameCube games, whatever. Anything before the PS4 and Xbox One. That's a W, because there's a lot of games from the PS2 era especially that if you didn't get the chance to play them then, or let's say you sold them while you were a kid, if you want to play it now, chances are you're gonna have to pay a lot of money for that. Like me with my Def Jam games, I think Fight for New York now is like over $100. I've seen people pay $200 for them. Vendetta is like half that. Budokai Tenkaichi 3, that's a game, I don't even remember how much my parents paid for that when I first played it. I know for damn sure it wasn't $150, which is how much they're charging for it now. There's a lot of games that you need to pay an excess amount of money for from like the older days that you can just play for free through emulator. And for me, it makes my job as a YouTuber easier. There's a lot of games from that era that I want to do videos on, but I can't because I know the visual quality of it is going to be trash. SmackDown vs. Raw 06 is probably my favorite in that series, and I wanted to make a video on it for so long, but if I were to use my PS2 version, I don't think it would come out correctly on screen. With the PS2 emulator on a Steam machine or on PC period, I'd be able to do a video on it in like 4K crisp audio and visual. And once again, it saves money. It might also get you some money. If you have some of them games, like physically, like Def Jam or whatever, you could probably sell that for a good $150 on the internet and then buy it or play it for free through an emulator with the Steam machine. You got options. Now, we don't really know too much about the Steam machine so far. It was just announced like, what, 2 weeks ago? But from what we do know in terms of storage, there's two options. You have a 2TB one, which is probably going to be a lot more pricier, and you have the 512GB one. It has 8GB of RAM. The controller has a 35-hour long lasting battery, which, I mean, I believe that when I see it. But if that's the case, I'd consider that a W. I'm tired of my PlayStation controller being fully charged by morning and basically dying by the end of the day. So I'm excited for that. The controller got track pads on it that they brung over from the Steam Deck, and they have magnetic sticks, meaning that you don't got to worry about stick drift. That's right, Steam fixed the stick drift problem before the actual consoles did. Now, some people think the controller looks ugly. Me, I don't mind it. In a weird way, it kind of reminds me of, y'all remember the 360 controller that had the keypad attachable to it? It kind of reminds me of that mixed with like a bit-sized Xbox One controller. I don't mind the look is what I'm trying to say. Another cool feature about the Steam Machine is that the outer layer is interchangeable, meaning that if you want to change the face, and I'm pretty sure the other sides of the cube you can either put your own designs on it, and I think they might be selling their own for the Steam Machine. So let's say you want to customize your Steam Machine into something more Gears of War themed, or have a Devil May Cry styled Steam Machine. I'm sure you can either buy one off of someone who's making them or make one yourself, or just buy a custom made one off of them. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have their own made. That last part's a wild guess, don't take that one to heart. There's a number of reasons to be excited for the drop of the Steam Machine. My reasonings are mainly financial, but also curiosity. I feel like I'm the type of person who this is made for. This isn't made for PC people. This is made for people who've probably been playing video games on console throughout their lives and they want to make a switch to PC, but they can't afford to build one themselves. So Steam and Valve is just giving you a miniature version of one so you can have your own form of switch, meaning that technically you're switching over to PC but you're doing less work, and maybe for a cheaper price. Who knows? I don't know how much this shit's gonna cost. No one does. I'm hoping it don't cost the same as an actual PC though, because then there wouldn't be a reason to get it. Nonetheless, I'm excited for it. I think this could potentially be the next big thing. Actually, I think it is the next big thing. The way it's being marketed and the way people have reacted to it, the way everyone's talking about it, I think this is going to be the next big thing in gaming. If this is everything I think it's going to be and hope it to be, I personally can't wait to make my switch from console to Steam Machine. Also, before I forget, it's kind of funny because Xbox had the exact same idea. They're gonna do the exact same thing, and I think they were gonna release it like 2 years from now for like $1,200, and then Steam immediately was like, yeah, fuck no, you ain't doing that shit. We gonna get to you first, and we're gonna release it a year earlier before you. I think they said early 2026, so somewhere in between January and March. They put a complete stop in that idea. So if Xbox still decides to do it, I don't think that it's gonna work out the same with the Steam Machine out. I find that hilarious. I also like that we all collectively agreed that with the release of the Steam Machine, Xbox is basically done. There's not really going to be a reason for you to own one after this. Nonetheless, I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it to drop. And we're going to see what happens, man. That's all I got for y'all. I appreciate y'all for watching this episode of Reggie TV. And I'm out. I'll see y'all in the next one.